Greetings and welcome to the CDL General Knowledge Test. If you're eager to obtain your commercial driver's license in any state, this test is a vital milestone for you. Let's start. What is the minimum tread depth for front tires? 4 by 32 inch, 2 by 32 inch, 7 by 16 inch, 3 by 8 inch. The correct option is A. What is the minimum tread depth for other tires? 4 by 32 inch, 2 by 32 inch, 7 by 16 inch, 3 by 8 inch. The correct option is B. What is the cross combination weight? Weight of cargo plus weight of drivers and passengers. The maximum weight specified by the manufacturer that a vehicle can hold. Weight of trailer plus weight of cargo. Weight of power unit plus trailer plus cargo. The correct option is D. Name a situation where legal maximum weight may not be safe. Mountain traveling, crossing bridges, overloading, transporting hazardous materials. The correct option is A. What can happen if you do not have enough weight on the front axle? Your front end will hydroplane, can cause poor traction, will cause fishtailing, will damage shock absorbers. The correct option is B. What is the minimum number of tie-downs for a 20-foot load? At least 1 tie-down for every 20 feet. At least 2 tie-downs for every 10 feet. At least 1 tie-down for every 5 feet. At least 1 tie-down for every 10 feet. The correct option is D. When loading the cargo compartment of a vehicle, it is best to place heavy items on the bottom and the light items on top. True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is A. What are the 3 rules for using your turn signals? Signal when changing lanes. Signal when turning corners. Make sure the signal turns off after the turn is completed. Signal early. Signal continuously. Make sure the signal turns off after the turn is completed. Signal when changing lanes. Signal when turning corners. Use arm signals only when it's raining. All of the above. The correct option is B. Which item is a key steering system part? Torque arm, pitman arm, leaf spring, control arm. The correct option is B. Blocking is used to keep the cargo from shifting. True, false, maybe, not applicable. Correct option is A. When fighting an engine compartment fire, it is best to lift the hood in order to target the fire's base. True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is B. Reaction time or distance is the distance traveled from the time your brain tells your foot to move from the accelerator to actually pushing on the brake pedal. The distance traveled from the time your eyes see a hazard until the time your brain recognizes the hazard. The distance it takes to stop your vehicle. The distance you travel from the time you perceive a hazard until the vehicle comes to a stop. The correct option is A. When inspecting your brakes, which of the following is a sign of overheating? Blue smoke coming from the tires. A sweet smell coming from the engine compartment. A burning smell coming from the wheels. All of the above. The correct option is C. What is the maximum allowed blood alcohol concentration for a commercial driver in Florida? 1%, 2%, 0.04%, 0.06%. The correct option is C. When driving a commercial vehicle, you should tailgate other vehicles to save fuel, Keep at least 1 second of following distance for every 10 feet of vehicle length. Use your high beams in all driving conditions. All of the above. The correct option is B. When driving in fog, you should use your high beams to see better. Use your low beams to see better. Turn on your hazard lights. Turn off all the lights to avoid blinding other drivers. The correct option is B. What is the purpose of a sleeper berth in a commercial vehicle? To store cargo, to provide a place for the driver to sleep, to transport hazardous materials. None of the above. The correct option is B. Your emergency line breaks or gets pulled apart while driving. The loss of pressure will cause the emergency trailer brakes to come on, air compressor to unload instead of pumping, trailer supply valve is open, ABS system to deactivate. The correct option is A. You have pushed in the trailer air supply valve. You should not move the vehicle until the whole system is empty at normal pressure between 60 and 80 psi. At maximum psi. The correct option is B. When should you use the hand valve to park combination vehicle? To park at loading docks. To park on a grade. Never. Only during emergency situations. The correct option is C. The best way to tell you that your trailer has started to skid is hear the wheels skidding, see it in your mirrors, feel the cab pulling, feeling the cab pulling to the side. The correct option is B. Name some things you should check on the front of your vehicle during the walk-around inspection. Fuel tank, engine, tires, brakes, airlines, suspension, signal and clearance lights, headlights, cab area, coupling system, rims. The correct option is C. What should wheel bearing seals be checked for? Tightness, leaking, fluid level, safety. The correct option is B. How many reflective triangles should you carry? 2, 4, 1, 3. The correct option is D. Why should you back toward the driver's side? State law requires backing toward the driver's side because it takes less time, because you can see better, so you won't have to look over your passenger. The correct option is C. What is a pull-up? Repositioning of your vehicle when backing, a replacement for backing, short forward movement to save brake wear, a guide. Correct option is A. If stopped on a hill, how can you start moving without rolling back? Place wheel chock under front wheel. Place wheel chock under rear wheel. Partly engage clutch before taking your foot off the brake. Use your parking brake. The correct option is C. When backing, why is it important to use a helper? To help avoid blind spots, to watch for obstacles, to free the passenger side mirror, so you will not have to do all of the work. The correct option is A. What's the most important hand signal that you and the helper should agree on? Pull up, back up, go, stop. Correct option is D. What are the two special conditions where you should downshift? For stopping and exiting a curve, before starting off and driving uphill, before shutting engine off and before exiting vehicle, before starting down a hill and before entering a curve. The correct option is D. When should you downshift automatic transmissions? Before starting downgrade, before starting upgrade, before entering curve, before exiting curve. The correct option is A. Retarders keep you from skidding when the road is slippery. True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is B. What are the two ways to know when to shift? Engine sound, engine temperature, engine speed, road speed. 8 seconds after leaving previous gear, clutch loosens. Clutch tightens, RPMs drop. The correct option is B. How far ahead should you look when driving? 10 to 12 seconds, 8 to 10 seconds, 12 to 15 seconds, 15 to 17 seconds. The correct option is C. What are the two main things to look for ahead? Traffic and road conditions, vehicles and stoplights, disabled vehicles and obstacles, curves and potholes. The correct option is A. What's your most important way to see the sides and rear? Use your helper, use your mirrors, use your signals, use your horn. The correct option is B. What does communicating mean in safe driving? Using cell phones, braking often, using your horn, signaling your intentions. The correct option is D. Where should your reflectors be placed when stopped on a divided highway? A, B, C, or D? Correct option is C. What three things add up to total stopping distance? Stopping distance, reaction distance, perception distance, vehicle distance, stopping distance, reaction distance, braking distance, obstacle distance, stopping distance, perception distance, reaction distance, braking distance. The correct option is D. If you go twice as fast, your stopping distance will increase by twice or 4 times. Twice, 4 times, none of the above, both. The correct option is B. Empty trucks have the best braking. True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is B. What is hydroplaning? Tires lose contact with road and have no traction. Turning steering wheel but vehicle doesn't turn. Braking but vehicle doesn't stop. Form of surfing. The correct option is A. What is black ice? Very hot slippery tar. Oil slick on the roadway. Snow on the roadway. Thin sheet of clear ice on roadway. The correct option is D. You should use low beams whenever you can. True or false? True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is A. What should you do before you drive if you're drowsy? Eat, sleep, drink coffee, exercise. The correct option is D. What effects can wet brakes cause? Slower stopping speed, hydroplaning, brake wear, lack of braking power. The correct option is D. You should let air out of hot tires so the pressure goes back to normal. True or false? True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is B. You can safely remove the radiator cap as long as the engine isn't overheated. True or false? True, false, maybe, not applicable. Correct option is B. What factors determine your selection of a safe speed when going down a long, steep downgrade? Speed, space, distance, perception, reaction time, distance, speed, vehicle size, weight of vehicle, length of grade, steepness, road conditions, weather, perception, reaction, speed of vehicle, stopping distance. The correct option is C. Why should you be in proper gear before starting down a hill? So you can focus on braking. You may not be able to shift back into any gear and all braking effect will be lost. To maintain speed, so you will not damage the transmission. The correct option is B. Describe the proper braking technique when going down a long steep downgrade. Ride the brakes all the way down the hill. Apply brakes to 5 miles per hour below safe speed, release and repeat. Apply the brakes only near the bottom of the downgrade. Apply consistent pressure to the brake pedal all the way down the hill. The correct option is B. What is a hazard? Any road condition or user that is a possible danger. Any obstacle in the roadway. Anything that obstructs the roadway. A game of chance. The correct option is A. Why make emergency plans when you see a hazard? So you won't hurt your vehicle or anyone else. So you will have more time to act. So you won't have to make plans afterwards. To avoid hitting something. The correct option is B. Stopping is not always the safest thing to do in an emergency. True or false? True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is A. What is an advantage of going right instead of left around an obstacle? You will avoid skidding. You will avoid hydroplaning. You will avoid drivers passing on the left. You will avoid a head-on collision. The correct option is C. What is an escape ramp? A highway exit in case you can't change lanes. Any highway exits. An extra lane to pass slower traffic. An exit at the bottom of a hill to slow you down and stop. The correct option is D. If a tire blows out, you should put the brakes on hard to stop quickly. True or false? True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is B. What is one thing to do at an accident scene to prevent another accident? Stop your vehicle immediately no matter which lane you are in. Stand in the middle of the lane and wave to oncoming traffic. Call your boss. Put out flares. The correct option is D. Name 2 causes of tire fires. Speed and excessive braking. Overinflated tires and turning sharply. Weight of vehicle and road conditions. Underinflated tires and duals that touch. The correct option is D. What kind of fire is a BC extinguisher good for? Electrical, fuel, meat, cheese, wood, paper, cloth, metal, rubber. The correct option is A. When using your extinguisher, should you get as close as possible to the fire? Yes, no, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is B. Name a cause of vehicle fires. Flammable cargo, sudden stopping, overheating, excessive road temperature, The correct option is A. For what three things related to cargo are drivers responsible? Size of cargo, where cargo is placed, and unbalanced cargo. Inspection of cargo, balanced weight of cargo, secured cargo. Color of cargo, type of cargo, and temperature of cargo. Passenger safety, route planning, and vehicle maintenance. The correct option is B. How often while on the road must you stop to inspect your cargo? Every 3 hours or 150 miles. Every 6 hours or 300 miles. Before and after your trip. Never. The correct option is A. What is the most important reason for doing a vehicle inspection? State law requires vehicle inspections. Safety is the most important reason to inspect your vehicle. To make sure your lights are working properly. To check for overinflated tires. The correct option is B. What things should you check during a trip? Watch for pedestrians crossing. Brake fluid level. Watch gauges for signs of trouble. Make sure your signals are working properly. The correct option is C. Name some key steering parts. Tires, rims, lug nuts, leaf springs, bellows or eye bolt, axle, control arm, pressure plate, spindle, tie rod, drag link. The correct option is D. Name a suspension system defect. Leaking shock absorbers, underinflated tires, loose lug nuts, cracked brake cylinder. The correct option is A. What three kinds of emergency equipment should you have? Flashlight, tire gauge, tire inflation foam, first aid kit, bandit gauge, pain reliever, fire extinguisher, spare electrical fuses, warning device, exterior hazard light, cell phone, wheel chock. The correct option is C. What is the minimum number of tie downs for any flatbed load? 1, 2, 3, 4. The correct option is B. Name one basic reason for covering cargo on an open road. Protect cargo from theft. Insurance requirements. Protect the cargo from weather. State law requirements. The correct option is C. What must you check before transporting a sealed load? Cargo is secured inside container. Container is locked. Check that you don't exceed height restrictions. Check that you don't exceed weight restrictions. The correct option is D. Stop braking should not be used on vehicles equipped with air brakes, hauling hazardous materials, towing trailers, equipped with anti-lock brakes. The correct option is D. What should you always do when traveling down a long downgrade? Apply brakes when your vehicle exceeds the safe speed by 5 miles per hour. Use tap braking. Use the braking effect of the engine. Apply trailer brakes. The correct option is C. Bridge formulas are designed to permit less maximum axle weight for axles that are farther apart. Permit less maximum axle weight for axles that are closer together. Permit same maximum axle weight for any axle spacing. Same formula used to total the GVWR. The correct option is B. Which statement is true? You can always trust other drivers to turn in the direction they are signaling. Drivers with rental trucks are often not used to driving a large vehicle and may be more dangerous. Seat belts are not necessary for short trips. It is legal to exceed the speed limit if you are running late. The correct option is B. The first offense for driving a commercial vehicle under the influence of drugs or alcohol will cause you to lose your CDL for 6 months, 2 years, 1 year, 3 years. The correct option is C. Your vehicle will be placed out of service if this many leaves are broken or missing. Any at all. 1/3 of total number, 1/2 of total number, 1/4 of total number. Correct option is D. Can your truck or bus be inspected by federal inspectors? Yes. Only to the point of entry. Yes, but cannot place you out of service. Yes, and can also place you out of service. The correct option is D. Can I use over-the-counter medication when operating a CMV? Yes, but only take half a dose. Should not be used because it can make you sleepy. Yes, but only during daylight hours. As long as the dispatcher says it's okay. The correct option is B. Which of these statements is true? You should use your high beams from 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. Most drivers are more alert at night than during the day. Many accidents occur between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. Hazards are easier to see at night. The correct option is C. Which statement is true about rear drive wheel braking skids? When pulling a trailer, the trailer can push the towing vehicle sideways. The locked wheels have more traction than the ones that are rolling. It is not a cause of jackknifing. The vehicle's front wheels will slide sideways. The correct option is A. Which of these can you not check at the same time? Clearance lights and four-way flashers, tail lights and clearance lights, headlights and clearance lights, brake lights, four-way flashers, and turn signal. The correct option is D. Which of the following will occur after you start your engine? Manifold exhaust indicator gauge will rise to 190 degrees. The water temperature gauge will rise to normal operating temperature. In 10 to 15 minutes, the air pressure gauge will rise to normal. In 4 to 5 minutes, the oil pressure gauge will rise to normal. The correct option is B. If your vehicle is 40 feet long and you are traveling 50 miles per hour, what is the safe following distance? 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 7 seconds, 5 seconds. The correct option is D. You can be placed out of service if your blood alcohol concentration is 1.0% or higher, any amount detectable, 3% or higher, 4% or higher. The correct option is B. What should you do when you see a hazard in the road in front of you? Turn on your four-way flashers to warn other drivers. Stop in the roadway, set out triangles, and go to the back of your vehicle to flag down drivers. Stop quickly and exit the roadway if possible. Steer and counter-steer around the hazard. The correct option is A. Why should you conduct a pre-trip inspection? To see if you can add more freight to your load. To make sure the vehicle is safe to operate. To avoid being placed out of service. To add time to your logbook. The correct option is B. What happens when a tire blows out at highway speed? The low air pressure alarm will come on. You will hear a loud hissing sound coming from your tire. You will feel a vibration. There will be an immediate drop in speed. The correct option is C. Which of these statements is true about tire pressure? You should reduce air pressure in warmer weather. You do not have to check the air pressure in a pre-trip inspection. The air pressure in the tire increases when the temperature rises. All of the above. The correct option is C. You should use your horn when changing lanes to help you avoid a collision when a car gets in your way, to make a deer move away from the roadside. The correct option is B. Convex mirrors will show a wider view than flat mirrors, make objects appear closer than they actually are, make objects appear smaller than they actually are, make objects appear larger than they actually are. The correct option is A. What type of fire will water extinguish? Tire, gasoline, diesel, electrical. The correct option is A. If you're traveling down a long grade and your brakes start to get weak, you should pump the brake pedal, downshift and continue. Stop as quickly as possible. Continue to the bottom, then stop and check the brakes. The correct option is C. Why is it important to shift gears properly? To keep the engine at the proper temperature, to keep the radiator cool, to keep the oil flowing through the crankcase, to help maintain control of the vehicle. The correct option is D. When starting off on dry, level pavement, it is normally not necessary to press on the gas pedal and pop out die clutch. Apply the parking brake. Both A and B, none of the above. The correct option is C. With low beam headlights on, you can see 250 feet ahead, 200 feet ahead, 150 feet ahead, 300 feet ahead. The correct option is A. Which of these conditions can produce a skid? Oversteering, overbraking, driving too fast, all of the above. The correct option is D. What should you do if you are being tailgated? Slam on your brakes, turn on your four-way flashers, increase following distance, motion for the driver to pass. The correct option is C. When should you use controlled braking? If the vehicle is equipped with anti-lock braking, only use with hydraulic brakes. You need to stop quickly to keep the vehicle in a straight line when braking. The correct option is D. Which of the following is true when driving in cold weather? Use antifreeze in your windshield washer fluid. Use bleach on your tires to increase traction. If the temperature is below freezing, the engine will not freeze. Exhaust leaks are not a concern. The correct option is A. When drinking alcohol, which is affected first? Judgment and self-control, kidney control, coordination, muscle control. The correct option is A. When backing to a dock, which of the following is not true? Always back toward the driver's side if possible. Use a helper and hand signals. Back slowly until you bump the dock. All of them. The correct option is C. What is controlled braking? Used if the vehicle does not have anti-lock brakes. Applying brake firmly but not enough to lock up. Applying brake to lock up, then releasing and reapplying. Applying brake to lock the wheels up. The correct option is B. What should you do when traveling through a construction zone? Only reduce speed if you see a worker near the road. Watch for the holes in the road and drop-offs. Stop before entering, then proceed in low gear. Go as quickly as possible to avoid congestion. The correct option is B. When your brakes are wet, it is very easy to hydroplane if traveling faster than 30 miles per hour. Hydroplane. Overheat your brakes. Jackknife the trailer. The correct option is D. If you're stopped on the shoulder of the road on a divided highway, you must place reflective triangles or flares within 10 minutes of stopping, flag down the next passing motorist and request assistance, wait for roadside assistance, turn off your vehicle. The correct option is A. The maximum speed limit for a school bus on a highway is 50 miles per hour, 55 miles per hour, 45 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour. The correct option is B. When conducting a pre-trip inspection of the steering system, you would not inspect missing nuts, bolts, or other parts on the steering box, leaking shock absorbers, power steering hoses, pumps, and fluid level, power steering fluid leaks. The correct option is B. Before entering a curve, you should slow down to a safe speed and downshift before entering the curve, upshift and accelerate before entering the curve, come to a stop before entering the curve, do nothing. The correct option is A. You must come to a full stop at railroad crossings, always, when carrying passengers or hazardous cargo, at night, if the crossing is unmarked. The correct option is B. You may not drive for more than hours following your last period of 8 consecutive hours off duty. 6, 8, 10, 12. The correct option is C. About of all fatal crashes involve drinking drivers. 1/3, 1/2, 1/4, 2/3. The correct option is B. When you double your speed, it takes time as much distance to stop your vehicle. 3, 2, 4, 5. The correct option is C. Off-tracking is living on a dirt road, passing on the right, pulling onto the shoulder of the road, trailer wheels following a different path than the tractor wheels. The correct option is D. How far ahead should a driver be looking while driving a vehicle? 1/8 miles, 1/4 miles, 1/2 miles, 3/4 miles. The correct option is B. You're driving a heavy vehicle and must exit the highway using an off-ramp that curves downhill. You should use the posted speed limit for the ramp, slow down to a safe speed before the ramp, wait until you're in the curve before you start to downshift, shift to a higher gear before the turn. The correct option is B. Which of these statements are true about downshifting? When you downshift for a curve, you should do so before you enter the curve. When you downshift for a hill, you should do so after you start down the grade. When you downshift for a curve, you should do so after you enter the curve. When you downshift for a curve, do so just after the curve. The correct option is A. Which fires can you put out with water? Tire fires, fuel fires, electrical fires, chemical fires. The correct option is A. Which of these statements about backing a heavy vehicle is true? Never get out and look before backing. You should avoid backing whenever you can. When you use a helper, he or she should use a clear voice signals. It is safer to back to the right side of the vehicle than it is to the driver's side. The correct option is B. The key point in balancing cargo weight is to keep the load to the front, to the rear, centered, low to the floor. The correct option is C. In normal driving, some drivers use the hand valve before the brake pedal to prevent the jackknife. Which of these statements are true? This should not be done. This results in less skidding. Let's drivers steer with both hands. Best way to brake in a straight line. The correct option is A. There are two things a driver can do to prevent a rollover. The first, keep the cargo as close to the floor as possible. And what is the other? Make sure the brakes are adjusted. Keep both hands firmly on the wheel. Go slow around turns. Keep fifth wheel free play tight. The correct option is C. Brakes can get wet when you drive through a heavy rain. Wet brakes can cause wheel lockup, trailer jackknife, pulling to one side, all of the above. The correct option is D. You are checking your steering and exhaust systems during a pre-trip inspection. Which of these statements is true? Steering wheel play off more than 10 degrees can make it harder to steer. Leaks in the exhaust system are not a problem if they are outside of the cab. Some leakage of power steering fluid is normal. If you find a leak in the exhaust system, drive with the window open. The correct option is A. Your vehicle is in a traffic emergency and may collide with another vehicle if you do not take action. You can almost always turn to miss an obstacle more quickly than you can stop. Stopping is always the safest action in a traffic emergency. Leaving the road is always more risky than hitting another vehicle. Unbuckle your seatbelt before impact so you will not be trapped inside your vehicle. The correct option is A. Which of these is a good rule to follow when driving at night? Always use your high beam at night. Look directly at the oncoming headlights. Keep your speed slow enough to stop within the range of your headlights. Keep your instrument fights bright. The correct option is C. Which of these statements are true about brakes? The heavier a vehicle or the faster it is moving, the more heat the brakes have to absorb to stop it. Brakes have more stopping power when they get very hot. When going downhill, heavy use of the brakes is recommended. Brake drums cool very quickly. The correct option is A. Which of these is the most important thing to remember about emergency brakes? Disconnecting the steering axle brakes will keep the vehicle in a straight line. To keep the rear wheels from skidding, brake hard. Never do it without downshifting first. If the vehicles are skidding, you cannot control the vehicle. The correct option is D. How do you test hydraulic brakes for leaks? Hydraulic brakes cannot leak, so there is no need to test them. Move the vehicle slowly and see if it stops when the brakes are applied. With vehicle stopped, pump the pedal 3 times, apply firm pressure, hold for 5 seconds and see if the pedal moves. Step on the brake pedal and tire accelerator at the same time and see if the vehicle moves. The correct option is C. You do not have a hazardous materials endorsement on your commercial driver license. When can you legally haul hazardous materials? When the load does not require placards. When the GVWR is 26,000 lbs or more. When the shipment will not cross state lines. When a person who has the hazardous materials endorsement rides in the vehicle. The correct option is A. You're checking your wheels and rims during a pre-trip inspection. Which of these statements is true? Rust around wheel nuts may mean they are loose. Wheels or rims can be used if they have been welded. Missing, bent, or broken studs are not a safety hazard. Mismatched lock rings may be used on the same vehicle. The correct option is A. To avoid a crash, you had to drive on the right shoulder. How should you move back onto the pavement? Come to a complete stop, if possible, before steering back onto the pavement. Brake hard to slow the vehicle, then steer sharply onto the pavement. Steer sharply onto the pavement, then brake hard as you counter steer. Keep moving at the present speed and steer very gently back onto the pavement. The correct option is A. If you are being tailgated, you should increase the space in front of your vehicle, flash your brake lights, speed up, signal the tailgater when it is safe to pass. The correct option is A. Which of these statements about staying alert to drive is true? A half-hour break for coffee will do more to keep you alert than a half-hour nap. There are drugs that can overcome being tired. It is not possible to fall asleep while sitting up. The only thing that can cure fatigue is sleep. The correct option is D. Which of these statements about speed management is true? Empty trucks always stop faster than fully loaded ones. As the speed of the vehicle doubles, its stopping distance also doubles. Choose a driving speed that lets you stop in the space that you can see ahead. Following too closely is not a problem if the driver is alert. The correct option is C. How far should a driver look ahead of the vehicle while driving? 1 to 2 seconds, 5 to 8 seconds, 12 to 15 seconds, 18 to 21 seconds. The correct option is C. You're driving a 40-foot vehicle at 45 miles per hour. Driving conditions are ideal. The least amount of space that you should keep in front of your vehicle to be safe is the distance you would travel in. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Correct option is D. Which of these statements about drinking alcohol is true? Some people aren't affected by drinking. A few beers have the same effect on driving as a few shots of whiskey. Coffee and fresh air can sober a person up. If you drink alcohol fast enough, it will affect you less. The correct option is B. As the blood alcohol concentration goes up, what happens? The effects of alcohol decreases. The drinker is always aware of increased effects. The person is even more dangerous if allowed to drive. The driver can sober up in less time. The correct option is C. Driving under the influence of a drug which makes you drive unsafely is permitted if it is prescribed by a doctor, against the law. Permitted if it is a diet or cold medicine. Easier if combined with a small amount of alcohol. The correct option is B. You wish to turn right from a two-lane street to another two-lane street. Your vehicle is so long that you must swing wide to make the turn. Which of these drawings show how the turn should be made? The correct option is B. Some traffic emergencies may require you to leave the road. Which of these is a good thing to remember? If you must leave the road, try to get all wheels off the pavement. You should brake hard as you leave the road. You should avoid braking until your speed has dropped to about 20 miles per hour. Most shoulders will not hold a large shock. The correct option is C. Cargo that can shift should have at least tie downs. 1, 2, 3, 4. The correct option is B. Which of these statements about cargo loading is true? The legal maximum weight allowed by a state is safe for all driving conditions. If cargo is loaded by the shipper, the driver is not responsible for overloads. State regulations dictate legal weight limits. If the initial inspection is thorough, it is not necessary to check the load on the road. The correct option is C. If a straight vehicle goes into a front wheel skid, it will slide sideways and spin out, slide sideways somewhat but not spin out, go straight ahead but will turn if you turn the steering wheel, go straight ahead even if the steering wheel is turned. The correct option is D. The most common cause of serious vehicle skids is driving too fast for road conditions, poorly adjusted brakes, too much weight on the front axle, bad tires. The correct option is A. Which of these statements about downshifting is true? When you downshift for a hill, speed up at the same time. When you downshift for a curve, you should do so before you enter the curve. When you downshift for a hill, you should do so after you start down the hill. When you downshift for a curve, you should do so after you enter the curve. The correct option is B. You should avoid driving through deep puddles or flowing water, but if you must, what will keep your brakes working? Gently pressing the brake pedal while driving through the water. Applying hard pressure on both the brake pedal and the accelerator after coming out of the water. Connecting the steering axle brakes after coming out of the water. Decrease engine RPM while crossing the water. The correct option is A. Which of these statements about backing a heavy vehicle is true? If the trailer begins to drift, turn the top of the steering wheel in the opposite direction of the drift. You should avoid backing whenever you can. You should use a helper. He or she should use a clear voice signals. It is safer to back a vehicle than to drive forward. The correct option is B. High beams should be used when it is safe and legal to do so. Be turned on when an oncoming driver does not dim his or her lights. Be dimmed when you are within 100 feet of another vehicle. Be used as sparingly as possible. The correct option is A. Stab braking should never be used. Involves locking the wheels. Involves steady pressure on the brake pedal. Will not allow you to turn. The correct option is B. For an average driver driving 55 miles per hour on dry pavement, it will take about to bring the vehicle to a stop. Twice the length of the vehicle. Half the length of a football field. The length of a football field. 60 feet. The correct option is C. The parking brake should be tested while the vehicle is parked, moving slowly, going downhill, moving at least 30 miles per hour. The correct option is B. Controlled braking. Lock the brakes and release the pedal when you have stopped. Apply the brakes as hard as you can without locking the brakes. Apply the brakes as hard as you can until the brakes lock up, then release them. Can never be used on a heavy vehicle. The correct option is B. The vehicle in front of you has a red triangle with an orange center on the rear. What does this mean? The vehicle is hauling hazardous materials. It is a slow-moving vehicle. It has an oversized load. The vehicle does not pay road use taxes. The correct option is B. You must park on the side of a level, straight, two-lane road. Where should you place the three reflective triangles, one within 10 feet of the rear of the vehicle, one about 100 feet to the rear of the vehicle, and one about 100 feet from the front of the vehicle? One within 10 feet of the rear of the vehicle, one about 100 feet to the rear, and one about 200 feet to the rear. One about 50 feet from the rear of the vehicle, one about 100 feet to the rear of the vehicle, and one about 10 feet from the front of the vehicle. One within 100 feet of the rear of the vehicle, one about 10 feet to the rear, and one about 10 feet from the front of the vehicle. The correct option is A. The key principle in balancing cargo weight is to keep the load centered, to the front, to the rear, none of the above. The correct option is A. When should you check your load? Before you leave on your trip, at the start of the trip, and at your first stop, before you leave, after the first 25 miles, and every 150 miles or 3 hours. After the first 25 miles. The correct option is C. If a vehicle is loaded with very little weight on the front axle, what can happen? Poor traction, damage to drive axle tires, better handling, all of the above. The correct option is A. Cargo inspections should be done only before driving, should be done at every break during trip, are only needed if you are hauling hazardous materials, should be done every 6 hours or 300 miles. The correct option is B. How do you correct a rear wheel acceleration skid? Increase acceleration to the wheels. Apply the brakes. Stop accelerating and push in the clutch. Apply the brakes. The correct option is C. Which of these statements about double clutching and shifting is true? It should not be done when the road is slippery. You can use the sound of the engine to tell you when to shift. You must use both clutch pedals. All of the above. The correct option is B. Which of these statements about tires and hot weather driving are true? You should inspect your tires more often. If a tire is too hot to touch, you should drive on it to cool it off. Recap tires are less likely to fail in hot weather than new tires. None of the above. The correct option is A. What should you do if your vehicle hydroplanes? Start braking. Downshift immediately. Accelerate slightly. Release the accelerator. The correct option is D. You must make a very quick stop. You should brake so you can steer hard while braking hard. Use the full power of the brakes and lock them up. Stay in a straight line and can steer. All of the above. The correct option is C. While driving, you see a small cardboard box ahead in your lane. You should stop and direct the traffic around it. Hit it with your vehicle to knock it off the road. Steer around it if it is safe to do so. Aim for it with your left steering tire. The correct option is C. Which of these statements about overhead clearance is true? You should assume posted clearances are always correct. A vehicle's clearance can change with the load carried. If the road surface causes the vehicle to tilt, you should drive close to the shoulder. Heavy vehicles can always fit under any clearance. The correct option is B. When you're on top of a hill and know you will be going down a steep grade, which statement is true? Never downshift until you are going down the grade. Always downshift to a gear lower than you came up the hill and before starting down the grade. Put the vehicle in neutral while going down the grade and use a very heavy pressure on the brake pedal. Use a steady brake pressure before starting down the grade. The correct option is B. You're driving a vehicle with a light load. Traffic is moving at 35 miles per hour in a 55 miles per hour zone. The safest speed for your vehicle in this situation is most likely 30 miles per hour, 35 miles per hour, 50 miles per hour, 25 miles per hour. The correct option is B. What sort of things should you inspect during a trip? Gauges, exhaust, lights, cargo, and coupling devices. Gauges, brakes, lights, pumps, and hoses. Gauges, brakes, lights, cargo, and coupling devices. Gauges, tires, shock absorbers, brake shoes, and frame members. The correct option is C. When should you downshift your vehicle? Before going downhill, before entering a curve, going up a hill, all of the above. The correct option is D. Which item is a key suspension part? Tie rod, drag link, pitman arm, none of the above. The correct option is D. What factors determine a person's blood alcohol content? How much alcohol you drink, how fast you drink, how much you weigh, all of the above. The correct option is D. Perception distance is the distance traveled from the time your brain tells your feet to move from the accelerator until your foot is actually pushing the brake pedal. The distance traveled from the time your eyes see a hazard until the time your brain recognizes the hazard. The distance it takes to stop once the brakes are applied. The time until perception is reached. The correct option is B. When driving, how far ahead should you be looking? 1 football field, 2 football fields, 5 to 10 seconds, 12 to 15 seconds. The correct option is D. Doubling your speed has what effect on braking distance? No difference in stopping distance. Twice the speed equals twice the stopping distance. Twice the speed equals 4 times the stopping distance. Twice the speed equals 8 times the stopping distance. The correct option is C. Hazardous material placards are placed on the front, rear, and both sides of the vehicle, turned upright on a point in a diamond shape. All of the above. The correct option is D. Which of these requires the greatest stopping distance? A loaded vehicle, an empty vehicle, a partially loaded vehicle, none of the above. The correct option is B. You're convicted of speeding in your personal vehicle and issued a ticket. What are your responsibilities to your employer? CDL holders must report convictions for traffic violations to employers within 72 hours. CDL holders must report convictions for traffic violations to employers within 3 business days. CDL holders must report convictions for traffic violations to employers within 30 business days. CDL holders must report convictions for all traffic violations, including parking violations, to employers within 72 hours. The correct option is C. Which of the following emergency items are you not required to have available? Fire extinguisher, spare fuses, first aid kit, warning triangles. The correct option is C. Underinflated tires can cause a fire. True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is A. When backing and turning, you should and turn towards the driver's side. Use a helper if possible. Check your path before you begin backing. All of the above. The correct option is D. Which of the following is a basic step to take after an accident? Protect the area. Notify the authorities. Care for the injured. All of the above. The correct option is D. Which of the following is not a CDL skills examination? Materials handling test, pre-trip vehicle inspection, basic control skills test, on-road test. The correct option is A. What is the minimum number of tie-downs required for a small load? 1, 2, 3, 4. The correct option is B. How many warning triangles are you required to carry in your vehicle? 1, 2, 3, 4. The correct option is C. The acronym GVW means Government Vehicle Weight, Gross Variable Weight, Global Vehicle Weight, Gross Vehicle Weight. The correct option is D. When inspecting brakes components, you should pay special attention to cracked brake drums, brake shoes with oil, grease, or fluid on the shoes, broken, missing, damaged, or heavily homed shoes. All of the above. The correct option is D. Battery fluid is classified as a poison, flammable liquid, minor fire hazard, corrosives. The correct option is D. When using a helper to back up, what is the most important hand signal? Slow down, pull forward, come straight back, stop. The correct option is D. What is the minimum tread depth for a front tire? 2 by 32 of an inch, 4 by 32 of an inch, 6 by 32 of an inch, 1 by 4 of an inch. The correct option is B. Your vehicle breaks down on an undivided highway. There are no hills or curves within a mile in either direction. Where should you place the warning triangles? 100 feet in front, 10 feet behind, and 100 feet behind the vehicle. 10 feet, 100 feet, and 200 feet behind the vehicle. 100 feet in front, 100 feet, and 200 feet behind the vehicle. 100 feet, 200 feet, and 500 feet behind the vehicle. The correct option is A. A fire extinguisher with a C rating is designed for what type of fires? Electrical fires and burning liquids only. Burning liquids only. All fires regardless of fuel. The correct option is A. When transporting cargo, how often should you check your load? Within the first 25 miles of the trip and every 100 miles or every 2 hours afterwards, whichever comes first. Within the first 50 miles of the trip and every 100 miles or every 2 hours afterwards, whichever comes first. Within the first 25 miles of the trip and every 150 miles or every 3 hours afterwards, whichever comes first. Within the first 25 miles of the trip and every 200 miles or every 4 hours afterwards, whichever comes first. The correct option is C. You should always aim the fire extinguisher at the top of the flames, so that the chemicals will fall onto the fire. True, false, maybe, not applicable. Correct option is B. How many classes of hazardous materials are there? 3, 6, 9, 12. Correct option is C. When should a driver consider turning off a retarder system on the vehicle? During wet and icy road conditions, when driving through mountainous areas, when roads are clear and dry. Driver is not able to turn off retarder system. The correct option is A. When caring for an injured person, you should only move them if they are in danger from fire or traffic. Apply direct pressure to any wounds. Keep the injured person warm. All of the above. The correct option is D. Should your vehicle catch fire, it is best to pull into a service station because they have plenty of firefighting equipment. True, false, maybe, not applicable. The correct option is B. That's the end of the CDL General Knowledge Test. We hope this content has been informative. Stay tuned for more valuable content on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe for future updates.